Hello and welcome to this video. In the previous video, you saw me use this "and" keyword here, and I told you that it is known as a logical operator and it helps us to form compound conditional statement in the sense that we want to check when one condition is true and another condition is true. There are other logical operators that we are going to take a look at in this video. There is the OR, which checks whether one condition is true or the other is true. And because these are a combination of two booleans, there is a sense of algebra built around it that tells us what the result should be depending on the true or false nature of the conditions that are checked. If this doesn't make sense, let's see what is going to happen in the Python interactive section that I'm going to use to explain that to you. So I'm going to start Python 3 over here, and then I'm just going to use the interactive section to show you what happens when you apply the different logical operators. Okay, so let's start with the AND. The AND, as you can imagine, is only true when condition 1 and condition 2 are both true. The conditions can be as many as possible, but what the AND operator wants is that whatever is on the left and whatever is on the right should all be true before it will evaluate to true. So let's see. If I say true and true, Python will say true because what is on the left is true, what is on the right is true. So this is like the normal AND we know in our regular day-to-day language. If I tell you to buy me bread and egg, if you bring me only bread, you are wrong. If you bring me only egg, you are wrong. If you bring me bread and egg, then you are correct. Okay? What happens when we say false and true? Well, that's false because the AND operator only returns true when the left is true and the right is true. Now the left is false, the right is true, and so that is false. Okay, it is similar to what I shared with you, that if I ask you to get me bread and egg, if you bring either of them alone, then you are wrong. The only time you are correct is when you bring all the two to me. Okay, so the same thing happens when we check for true and false. That is false. Okay, what do you think is going to happen when we check for false and false? Well, that is also false because if I ask you to bring me bread and egg and you bring none, you are completely wrong. Okay, so that is false. So whenever you are using the AND to form a compound statement, you need to have it at the back of your mind that the whole statement or the combined conditional or the compound conditional is going to evaluate to true if and only if what is on the left and what is on the right both evaluate to true. Okay, now let's talk about the OR. Well, let me clear screen here so that we have enough screen real estate. Let's say true or true, and it says true. What is going on here is the OR logical operator returns true when either the left or the right evaluates to true. Unlike the AND where both of them have to be true. For the OR, it is either the left or the right. So in everyday English, if I tell you to bring me bread or egg, you are totally correct when you bring me bread alone. You are totally correct when you bring me egg alone. And you are also totally correct when you bring me bread or egg. The or here means either of them. Okay? So if I say false or true, well, that is still true. I asked you to bring me bread or egg. You didn't bring bread, so that is false, but you brought me egg, so that is true. You were correct. So the OR statement, remember, returns true when either the left or the right condition evaluate to true. Let's check for true or false. That is true because one of them is true, the other is false, so it is or. So it is what of false or false? Well, if you didn't get any of them right, then you are wrong. So it expected at least there is one that evaluates to true. Okay, so I'm going to clear the screen here, and then we talk about another logical operator that is known as the not. Okay, the not simply negates a boolean. So if I say not true, what am I saying? I am saying it is false, right? So if I say not true, then it means it's false. If I say not false, then it means it's true. So what do you think will happen if I say not true? Just messing with your brain. It is true because the first not true makes it false. This not true is false, and not false is true. Okay, so not true is true. And if you listen to it, it makes sense in the English language. Like, what I'm saying is not true. What I'm saying is not true. So I mean, it is true because the first not true, I'm saying false, and I say not false, so it becomes true. But of course, you want to stay away from such confusing use of negations. Okay, so these are the logical operators. There is another one called the XOR, or the exclusive OR, which I am going to teach you about in the next video because it is peculiar. However, I want us to learn how we can form compound conditionals using these logical operators. Okay, so if I want to check or combine multiple conditions, I can do something like this. See, true or false and true. What do you think is going to happen here? I have only brought the bracket to, have a logical grouping of the check that I want to do. And it also helps the interpreter to understand the precedence. Okay, so I want to check true or false and true. It will first evaluate true or false. What is true or false? It is true because the left is true, the right is false, and so because of the use of the or, that makes it true. So now we have true, and that is going to give us true. So the way you form compound statements is for you to think about how best you can combine the and, the or the not operators to be able to come up with compound conditional statements. So this is it for the conditional operators, and I will see you in the next video where we talk about how to form compound conditionals. So let's take a quick break, and I will see you once again.